Alright, music producer. So in this exciting video, I'm going to show you how I transformed this bit right here into this bit right here. So as we go on, I'm going to be explaining the processes, my thought processes, while improving on the beat, and then we're going to break down everything. First thing that came to mind is what exactly is good about the beat. So the first thing I really liked about the beat was the drums. I liked the groove of the drums. Have a listen again. And also that's melody. That was like the stardom of the whole show. So that was exactly the first thing I got. And we have these two right here to, to support it. So we have them together. And then just like that, we already had a very, very good foundation for the entire beat. Now, one thing that was quite missing in the initial instrumental was it lacked low end. So it wasn't kind of like, it didn't sound full. It sounded kind of empty in the low end areas. So this is it again. Okay, if I add my own bass, so you notice that just adding the bass I did myself, not even the one added to the beat, just adding it just makes it sound better almost immediately. Now we have to go into the mix of all this. This first one was, we have it right here. We just have a parametric EQ right here, a sound analyzer, and then a bit of saturation right here. That is all. That is literally all for this. So this without the effects, with the effects turned on. All right, and then for this right here, for this one, we have also a parametric EQ. You can see we just focus on this area of frequencies right here. We have a sound analyzer, we have a blood overdrive, distortion, that is the distortion. And then lastly, we also have another parametric EQ, which is doing nothing. I don't know why that is there. That can go. Okay. And then for this, we have, okay, parametric EQ again, EQ, sound analyzer. We have a distortion, another sound analyzer, and then two EQs to shape the sound to actually fit exactly how we want it to. So this is without the effects. All right, and this with the effects on back on. And just so you know, these two are routed to an aux channel with a reverb right here. And then for our bass, we have this right here. All right, so for our bass, as you can see, we took out a whole lot of the high and mid frequencies because we just want the low end to come out. And then we have a sound analyzer, we have a fruity blood overdrive for distortion, another sound analyzer, a bit of saturation over here. And then lastly, we also have another parametric EQ to still further emphasize the low ends. All right, so you can see all these effects added a bit of high end frequencies. So we use this second EQ to remove those unwanted frequencies that were generated. So without the effects, this is how it sounds. That is quite a bit of transformation right there. So we have that, and then all together we have this. And now, after I got to this point, the next major thing was to like I said, I liked the drums, like I initially said, and so I wanted to kind of like replicate it, not not like one for one, but I liked the groove, I liked the vibe from it, and then I wanted to get something similar to it. So right here is like the core drum pattern that I came up with. Have a listen. And then after I got this, I just had to, build on top of it. First of all, we have this top drum loop right here. And then we have this fill kind of drum at the end. Then lastly, we also have this percussion loop coming in. All right, here is it. I liked exactly what I was hearing. It was quite similar to the groove that, the initial beat had. So how do we mix this? So first of all, we have the kick, the claps, and the hi-hats. So this is the kick right here. Okay, first of all, we have a sound glider, distortion, compression with fruity limiter, saturation, and then lastly we have a parametric EQ to duck some of those low end frequencies that were too boomy. Then we have this snare right here, and this is basically just a parametric EQ and a sound glider. Simply that's just it. Then also again we have another snare, and this one emphasizes more on the mid frequencies. Okay, this snare emphasizes more on the high end frequencies. As we see right here, we emphasize the high end frequencies, while this other snare focuses more on the mid frequencies. We don't want them to clash. Technically, that's just it. So we also have a sound glider and a saturation knob right here. And then also we have these two open hi-hats. Just sound glider on both of them, I presume. Yes, just a sound glider on both of them. And just so you know, all these are routed to a drum bus that we have right here. As you can see, the effect on the drum bus, we have a limiter, we have a sound glider, saturation, distortion, and the parametric. Without the drum bus effects, these are sounds. But with the effects turned on. So you can see using a drum bus is always very crucial, and I would always advise you use a drum bus. Then we have all these extras that came in. And this technically is just also a sound glider, a fruity blood overdrive, a bit of distortion, and a saturation. Alright, so that is just that for that. And then also we have this percussion loop right here at the end. Okay, and then lastly we have this at the end of the bar. Okay, and this was mainly just a parametric EQ. Okay, and then the sound glider. That's just that for that. So all together with what we had previously gave us a very, very good sound. All right, so when I got to this point, I went back to the source file and then looked at what I can also steal again. And then there is this kind of chant, okay? I also wasn't a fan of the sample that was used there, but I think I used Nucleus for this, okay? And then I got this chant right here. Which is kind of more cinematic like. So all together with the chant, we had this right here. And then at this point, I kind of now went away from the beat entirely and just like use my creativity. Because one thing I noticed that it was still kind of the whole beat was still kind of sounding empty, and there were still a whole lot of spaces that needed to be filled. All right, so the first things first I went for was this sound right here. And this took the same pattern of the 808 of the bass, sorry. And this alone just filled up most of those empty spaces that I was hearing. If you listen to it with and without, you understand what I'm saying more. So this is it without this effects right here, and this is with it turned on. Turned off, turn on. I still wanted to, add some cherries on the top to spice it up. All right, and then lastly, I came up with this melody right here. This was actually not in the original beat at all, so this is what I came up with. And this also was just to, like I said, the cherry on the top. All right, so all together with the entire beat, this is how it sounds. All right, and then, well, obviously we can't have a beat without the impacts and the rises and the, so sort of those. And then we have these three right here. Impact one, we have this, and then we have this right here. All right, and then we also have a riser right here. So all this together make up this amazing beat that we have right here.